As human beings, we are unique. Oftentimes, we can find our confidence and our strength simply by finding the power of our voice. Sometimes it may come in a bold proclamation. Sometimes it might come with being able to sing a song for the first time in front of a room. And sometimes it might come in a soft whisper when we tell someone that we love them for the first time. The question is, have you found the power of your voice? Hi everyone, Chris Natzke here with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching with your Mind of a Champion tip of the week. You know, as a professional speaker, one of the things I'm blessed to be able to do is inspire and motivate others through the power of my voice. I've been able for decades to do that through my martial arts work as a master instructor and be able to help people find the power of their voice through what we call the kiap or the spirit yell. But there's nothing more rewarding and satisfying than seeing one of your own children find the power of their voices. My youngest son, Jason, when he was young, was afflicted with many ear infections. So many that it literally impacted his ability to hear. And as a result of that, impacted his ability to speak. And so for many of his early years, Jason really struggled with speaking. Now, I'm happy to say his ear infections went away and he's able to hear perfectly now and is also a very articulate young man. But during that time when he was coming out of that into his grade school years and then all the way through his high school years, that impacted his ability to speak in that he had to deal with disfluency or stuttering. And it was something that really impacted him in a very profound way. And there was nothing more painful as a parent than seeing your child wanting to express themselves and not be able to. But something happened when Jason was 17 that totally transformed him when he was able to find his voice. And it's something that I want to share with you now because I think it's super applicable to all of us. See, at 17 years old, Jason was getting ready for what was to be at that time his highest level martial art testing. He was testing for an advanced rank of black belt, and he was testing with two of his best buddies at the martial arts school for this event. And these guys literally put months of training into this. Now, they had to do their kicking and their punching, their sparring, their board and brick breaking and whatever. But one of the things that I had required them to do was to individually come up and do a creative form or a pumse or a kata for those of you that are familiar with martial arts to music that basically expressed their highest level of martial art training and strength themselves. So we were getting ready for the test and we were maybe about 2 weeks out and Jason came up to me one day and he said, "Dad, you know, I don't think I want to do the creative form. I've got something else in mind." And I said, "Well, what's that, buddy?" He said, "I'd like to give a speech." Now, because of all the difficulties I had known he had gone through, my heart literally sank when he said that. The dad inside of me just wanted to grab him and say, "I don't know if that's the right thing to do, buddy," but the martial arts instructor in me said, "That's exactly what you need to do." So the day of the test came and he and his two classmates were just doing a brilliant job. And now it's time for Jason to take the microphone from me and in front of about 200 or 300 people give his speech. And I have to say, my heart was pumping pretty quickly when I handed him that microphone. But when I did, magic happened. He stood in front of the group and gave this tremendously impassioned talk without a stutter. In fact, everyone rose to their feet in a standing ovation, and I remember wrapping him up in a bear hug. In fact, that picture is literally right behind me as I share this with you. And what was so amazing is almost instantly after that experience, Jason's stuttering almost stopped completely. In fact, to this day, he's an incredibly articulate young man and maybe sometimes, gets caught in some words, but it basically magically disappeared. And then fast forward from that moment, 4 years ahead, I'm sitting as a proud papa in an auditorium in Santa Fe, New Mexico, as Jason is graduating from college and was elected by his student body to deliver the commencement speech, once again without a stutter. My son had found his voice. Now, if you're sitting there, particularly you parents out there, that might really touch a chord. What I'm here to tell you is each and every one of us has the opportunity to be able to experience that ourselves. And so there's three things I want to share with you today that I know are important in not only my own life, but in all the clients and all the students that I've taught throughout the years in terms of finding our voices. And here's the first one. Number one is learn to say yes. Learn to say yes. Many times what we do is we'll step back, because things make us uncomfortable. Things, it's taking us out of our comfort zone. But what Emerson said is when you do the thing you fear, the death of fear is certain. So where are there some areas in your life where saying yes to a challenge that makes you nervous, that maybe makes you feel a little uneasy, is the best thing you could do to help you find your power and your voice? Number two, learning when to say no. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Just said we have to be able to say yes, but it's also important to learn how to say no. If you're saying yes to everything, you're really not saying yes to anything, because your bandwidth just gets totally stretched and you're not able to really be there in the place you want to be. In fact, I had a coach tell me one day that when our no's are powerful, it makes our yeses even more powerful. What I mean by that, or what he meant by that, is that when we learn to say no to things that are not in our best interest or where we want to put our attention and energy, it means we can focus our attention and energy even more keenly on the things that are important to us. So learn to say no. And then finally, learn to say, I'm here. When I think about all the black belts, students that I've been able to promote throughout the years, so many of them were not the most talented of athletes, had the greatest confidence, had the greatest body structure or flexibility or strength or all those types of things. But what they did is they just kept showing up. And sometimes just showing up puts us in the position where all of, all the things in life tend to align. And just because we're there, we're the ones that showed up, it takes us on this whole beautiful path. So where do you have the opportunity to step forward and say, I'm here? So there you have it, my friends. There is my message of the week for you. Where are you in terms of finding the power of your voice? And if you'd like to learn more ways you can do this, and you'd like to have a 30-minute discovery call with me to see if there's a breakthrough area for you to find your voice, please reach out to me at chrisnatzke.com. So anyway, thanks so much for listening. I so appreciate you being here with me, and we will see you next time on the Mind of a Champion Tip of the Week.